Since the dawn of time, or whenever some MF decided to sweat way too hard over a baby game, Destiny Tracker has hosted ELO ratings for Destiny 2's wide variety of playlists. Similar to chess ELO, this rating represents how you stack up against other players. Everyone who plays a match of PvP will gain an ELO rating, and these ratings are separated by playlist. Like any passable ranking system, this funny number goes up when you win and down when you lose. So here's where I come in. I am a creature who, conveniently enough, happens to be half decent at Destiny 2 the video game, and since PvP gets boring on the 1000th SBMM Camp Fest, I decided to challenge myself in order to relieve the ever-growing urge to make an Amori reference with my nearby staircase. My goal was thus set. Achieve top 500 ELO rating in the world, or any non-action sack playlist in the Crucible. Rumble then was the natural choice here because not only is it mostly non-SBMM, it's also always around, meaning I won't have to wait weeks for a goofy-ass rotator playlist to show up for 3 days before Trials takes its place. Seriously, what were the PvP devs thinking when they made that decision? Okay, back on track. Why did I decide to do this with just hand cannon and Shotty or Snipe? Well, mostly it happened by accident. I was grinding Rumble looking for clips to be background footage in my spare rations video and decided to check TRN to see what my KD for the season was, as I was curious after all those matches. Imagine my surprise then when I found out that I was not only top 1500 in the world for Rumble ELO, but that I had also gotten there almost entirely with spare rations. Okay, I used an SMG for like 3 of the 20 matches, but I think that's forgivable. This was surprising because Rumble tends to be very heavily dominated by Antaeus Titans with I Hate Destiny 2 frame fusion rifles, and hand cannons aren't in the best spot meta-wise right now. However, I did get this far with the hand cannon, so how hard could it possibly be to get to top 500? This is foreshadowing. It's gonna be hard, isn't it? See, like anything, Tracker Network's ELO system has flaws, but Rumble ELO specifically is very, as the kids say, fucked. Basically, it works like this. If players in your lobby are higher ELO than you get more for placing higher, and lose less for placing lower. For example, you could have an ELO rating of 1200 and place 3rd, but you actually gain ELO because there was a guy who has like 1600 in your lobby. My problem, however, is that very few people have high Rumble ELO. Hell, this is what the distribution looks like. So most matches I played in starred me as the highest rated player, which means my losses really hurt, and my victories very rarely gave me more than like 6 points. The worst part about this, though, was that lots of players who leverage degen playstyles were lower than you'd expect because they haven't played long enough to be given an accurate rating. In-game, this translates to me facing a ton of players who either aren't half bad or are being hard carried by their fusion of choice, which if I were to drop a match to them would result in me tanking way more ELO than you'd expect. It wasn't all bad though, as I was able to leverage the fact that getting 2nd place counts as a win, despite rewarding less ELO, to my advantage in order to frequently get around this issue. That didn't mean it was easy, however, as lobbies could frequently have 2, 3, or even sometimes were entirely made up of these, let's call them false rankers. These false rankers make grinding Rumble ELO a living hell, and they aren't even the worst part. No, that position belongs to D2's goofy-ass networking. See, I can outplay fusions to some extent, but when these MFs start wallbanging my ass like it's COD, that would make even Mahatma Gandhi himself angry. I, however, had the ultimate motivation keeping me going. I could make a cool YouTube video out of this. Rumble's rule set is simple. You have a time limit of 10 minutes, and the first to 20 points wins. 1 point is awarded on each final blow, and assists are worth nothing. Heavy spawns after the first minute, and then every 60 seconds after it's picked up. Most Rumble matches only go on for 3 to 5 minutes, as the massive amount of heavy and the prevalence of reckless playstyles result in almost constant killing. That being said, grenade launchers are largely responsible for the massive amount of heavy kills, as each heavy pickup provides 3 shots. These shots are pretty easy to convert into kills as well, because GLs are fairly forgiving, so needless to say, locking down heavy is extremely important if you want to win matches. The goal was set. The grind was bound to be a pain in my ass, so let's get to it. I started off with 1200 ELO as I hadn't played much last season, so when ELO got its seasonal soft reset, I was sent back to square one. The first 30 matches I played with spare rations took me from 1200 to 1506, and that was when I came up with the idea for this challenge. Naturally, the goal only got harder as I focused on it, so after those original 30 matches, almost all of them were significantly more difficult. I started seeing way more false rankers, and almost every lobby had some annoying crown-munching fusion main. I was, however, undeterred, but that didn't stop me from going from 1506 to 1499 over the course of the next 27 matches. an amazing gain of -7 elo. This was mainly because I made the massive mistake of leaving a match. This counts as a last place loss for TRN, and for me meant I lost 29 elo, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you've got to remember that winning frequently gives me as little as 2, which means that blunder cost me around 7 to 10 wins worth of progress. Needless to say, I did not repeat that mistake, or I wouldn't even be making this video. The final 10 matches are when things really heated up. The first match was a blowout victory as I got a sum of all tiers, but I still gained 9 elo, taking me to 1508. The second match was significantly harder as there was a Titan whose Shiora's Wrath absolutely decimated everyone he touched. I, however, successfully countered him by crutching on my GL and secured the dub, and 9 more elo by 2 kills. The next 3 matches were fairly uneventful, but when I finished the third match, I realized I was sitting at 1532 elo, just one single point below top 500. At that point, I realized I could really do it. Needless to say, I was pretty excited as I loaded into match number 6, but what awaited me was a level of headassery perhaps only paralleled by Samson simping so hard he lost his dope-ass hair. I was met with a Titan by the name of Previous, and this MF fusion was unbelievably infuriating. I lost said match by 1 point, and since I knew I would only gain a very limited amount of elo, I decided to play another match, which, of course, ended the same way. I lost by 1 point again, this time to a Titan named Pain, the irony of which was only overshadowed by my annoyance. So again, I loaded in, determined to end on a win and secure my place in the top 500, but after 2 matches against a hunter called Omega, I was sitting at 1530 elo. It was at this point I realized my mistake. Of course, I wasn't using spare rations, which had gotten me this far, so with my slideshot kill clip roll in hand, I queued up for one final match. I quickly noticed I was against Omega again, but apparently I was in good favor with RNGesus because he left the match shortly after loading in. However, that didn't mean I was in the clear yet as he wasn't the only threat. I was also, unknowingly at the time, against Zorpal, a top 100 player, and Spam, who I'd played before and has a disgusting shot with his beloved. The competition was fierce and the prize a worthy one. Now, could I secure a victory? I started off ahead, but due to some hubris on my part, I challenged a full health player while practically one-shot. However, due to a good spawn resulting in lucky positioning, I was able to secure 2 more kills. The second gunfight made me one-shot though, and due to a well-timed push from Spam, I was put in the dirt again. This second death was all the more unfortunate as well because it allowed Zorpal to secure the initial heavy drop and kill me again once I spawned. So the score is 4-5 with Spam leading and Zorpal on my tail. I need to get on a good streak to secure a lead, so what I'm looking for is a way to proc kill clip without being too weak to use it. After an easy Shotty kill and a whiff nade, that's just what I find. 2 players both shotgunned each other, leaving one dead and the other weak for an easy cleanup. I then immediately leveraged said kill clip in order to take on an easy gunfight with Spam, and after a failed blink play from him, I'm able to clean him up and tie for the lead. I then have to burn my dodge to avoid dying to a pulse rifle in Shrine, which leaves my Stompies powered off for the next 11 seconds while my dodge recharges. However, after a mistimed shadow dive from him, I secure an easy Shotty kill, and some quick dancing with the Titan later, I achieve a well-appreciated 9-7 lead. I'm out of shotgun ammo though, and that makes my situation quite dangerous because I don't have a win button for close range fights anymore. I quickly run to River looking for a primary duel, but I managed to find a cleanup, which is even better. Unfortunately, I'm immediately shredded by an SMG, and it's back to the grave. 10-9, Spam refuses to let me leave him behind. I'm not thinking straight though, because I run straight around a corner without my shotgun out, and after a questionable melee lunge, I'm out of action again. That's not the worst part, however, as I spawn quite literally into him trying to gun me down again, and I can't escape. I'm dead, Spam has tied my score, and is immediately overtaken by a guy whose name I'm not even gonna try to pronounce. This is gonna be tight. Fortunately, I got a god spawn near heavy as repayment for the previous awful one, and am able to 3-tap and then quickly win another fight to secure the heavy, and the lead, leaving me in a very advantageous position. I quickly turn that heavy into 2 more kills, but am then outskilled by a fusion user. The score is now 14-11, but multiple people are hot on my tail. I spawn near the guy who just fusioned me, but I know his playstyle now, and I quickly win the gunfight. Due to unfortunate AE though, I choke a relatively easy fight. After a barely utilized super resulting in another trade, I'm still up by 3, but Spam has a super and heavy is up. Fortunately for me, I spawn near it and am able to shut down Zorpal before he can get too many kills with his own super. Unfortunately though, I'm immediately sniped by Spam, and basically hand-delivered his ass another free kills worth of heavy. Shit. Somehow though, he doesn't grab the heavy and is quickly shut down by Zorpal. Hope! After getting a questionable kill on Zorpal and an easy gunfight to secure heavy, I'm at 19 kills. This should be it. But disaster strikes as I choke an easy GL shot and Zorpal steals my kill. Now I'm in a 1v1 gunfight with Zorpal, and he has a 120 with kill clip procced. I, however, have Amplified and the Artifact mod, which grants me 10% damage resist while it's active. He can't 2-tap me, but he thinks he can. I use that advantage to secure the gunfight, the win, and 12 elo points, bringing me to 1542 and securing my spot in the top 500. Good god, that was tough. Subscribe. With one goal complete though, there's now a new question on my mind. Could I get to top 100? Coincidentally, I also want to start doing some live stuff, so I'm going to be streaming my grind as well as a whole bunch of different shit on Kick under the name SysGG. Why Kick specifically though? Well, besides a bunch of fine print shit that they do better than other platforms, they're also green. I happen to like green more than purple or red, so it's a win for me. My stream schedule will also be at the end of all my videos from now on if you're curious when I'll be live. I'll also leave the link in the description if you want to stop by, so consider dropping a follow. I'm out.